Good morning and welcome to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. I am located at 1563 Main Street in Peckville, Pennsylvania, and I am right here each and every Sunday morning at this time on this station to bring you, the Pennsylvania landowner, the information that you need regarding natural gas development. And by the way, I, Doug Clark, have not, do not, and will not represent gas or pipeline companies. Never have, never will. I represent the Pennsylvania royalty owner, landowner, property owner. If you are looking for representation, information about representation, if you have an amendment ratification, if you have a gas lease, a pipeline agreement, if you're asked to sign maps, if you're asked to sign a multi-unit well document, if you're asked to sign a production allocation agreement or any other agreement, or if you have a breach, unitization issue, royalty issue, call the Clark Law Firm, see if we can help you. 570-307-0702. 570-307-0702. Represent people all across Pennsylvania in any gas-producing region. Give us a call. See if we can help you. Again, clients active in Fayette County, Greene County, Washington County, Westmoreland County, Beaver County, Tioga County, Bradford County, Wyoming County, Susquehanna County, and the list goes on and on and on. So regardless of your location, if the property royalty rights are in Pennsylvania, give us a call. See if we can help you. 570-307-0702. Now, I want to start. Things have been heating up. And as I represent people all across Pennsylvania, I get calls from all kinds of different areas and involving all different types of companies, whether it be gas or pipeline or otherwise, about what's happening locally in their region. And I can tell you, whether it be Fayette County, southwestern Pennsylvania, whether it be western Pennsylvania, north central, or even northeastern Pennsylvania, I have been getting more and more calls for development activity. Things are starting to pick up. More pipelines are getting placed into the ground, and we're starting to see things pick up. So, what does that mean? It means that we need to remember what happened before, and we need to take care of ourselves as we go forward. Here's what I'm talking about. Many, many people, and I mean thousands of people, many thousands of people feel that they have been burned in the past when they entered into oil and gas leases or pipeline agreements with gas and pipeline companies. That is a fact. That's how people feel, and I'm talking about thousands upon thousands. And in my opinion, in many, many of those cases, their feelings are legitimate and appropriate. Now, that's my opinion. But we have these people who say, you know what? I was misled or wasn't told about deductions for my royalty payments. I signed for $25, $50, $100, or even $500 an acre, being told, hey, it's not going to go up any higher. This is all we pay. This is what your neighbor signed, so therefore you should sign for the same thing. Many lines like that. Oh, yeah, all we pay is $10 or $15 a foot for pipelines, and then the next day they pay $30 a foot after you sign. These are examples. These are reasons that people feel that they were taken advantage of, that they were misled, and why is this? How did this occur? Well, I'm going to tell you my theory. My theory, which I strongly and totally believe in and believe is correct, well, it's my theory, but I believe this, that the reason why people were taken advantage of, the reason why people feel that they were burned, the reason why people are under gas leases that will pay them, whether it be 12.5%, 15%, or another percentage, but they will see substantial deductions taken from their royalties, that they will see royalty calculation methods used by the company that are very advantageous to the company and not good for you, the landowner and the royalty owner. The reason why you signed a bad pipeline agreement, giving the company all kinds of rights, which they are now exploiting or will exploit or use in the future, there's one single reason, and it's very simple. The reason is the lack of knowledge and information for the landowner, meaning that the landowner did not have the knowledge and information they needed to avoid getting burned, entering into bad agreements that will affect not only them, but future generations and potentially their property for potentially 100 years or more. The reason that has occurred is simple. The landowner, royalty owner, did not have the information they needed to assess that offer and make the right decision, to negotiate, to understand what they were presented with, and evaluate everything with the information they needed to make the right choice. They didn't have it, and they were taken advantage of. They feel burned. They didn't have that information. I am Attorney Doug Clark. You're listening to All Things Marcellus, and you can join me, and I hope you do, each and every week at this time on this station. Been doing this show since 2010, and we're not stopping. We're signed up for at least another year, and we're not stopping because you need this information. So, okay, back to what I'm talking about. People, I believe, appropriately feel that they were burned, taken advantage of, tricked, duped, whatever you want to say, misled, whatever it may be. That's how people feel. Now, the company may have a different perspective, but this is opinion. I can understand where people are coming from. But, and this is a big but, it's not that the company, in my opinion, did anything illegal. What they did was took advantage of a situation where they are sophisticated. This is their business. They have been doing this for decades and decades and decades across the country. They come to Pennsylvania to do this different type of gas lease, this different type of drilling. Pennsylvania people, we were familiar with this conventional well, these vertical wells where you're getting free gas to your house. We were familiar with that. We were familiar with royalties that may only be $100 a year or less or a little bit more, but you're getting free gas. That was where the Pennsylvania landowner mind frame was. And that made this situation ripe, in my opinion, to take advantage of people who are familiar to a degree with one type of drilling and development and the type of pipeline agreements that were in place before and that were offered before. And they used that history to the company's advantage and to the detriment of the landowner. And the whole reason that this occurred is because the landowner, the royalty owner, the property owner was not informed and did not understand the issues and did not understand the agreements that were in front of them when they signed and they negotiated, if they negotiated. They heard, hey, we're going to give you a lot of money. People are getting rich all over the place. I want to make you rich. I, the landman, on behalf of this company, has come to you, to your kitchen table, to make you rich. That's why I'm here. And all you have to do is take this pen. By the way, I'm a notary. And you just sign this document and sit back. And it's going to be the Clampets. That's what they say a lot of times. And we're going to make you rich. Here's the pen. Hurry up and sign. Hurry up and sign. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. And make sure you join me each and every week at this time on this station for All Things Marcellus. So I'm talking about thousands, and I'm not talking about 2,000. I'm talking about 10,000 plus people who feel that they have been burned, taken advantage of when they've entered into gas and pipeline agreements in the past, only to find out in the future that what was said to them by the landman or the company representative has not occurred in the way that they have been told. And if you are listening to this show, I will tell you this, that I'll bet you 9 out of 10 people, maybe even 19 out of 20, maybe even 98 out of 100 would start shaking their head now in affirmative, nodding their head, I guess I should say, saying, yes, you know what? That happened, unfortunately, to me. I believed I wouldn't have deductions. I believed that there wouldn't be more money offered in the future. I believed that 12.5 or 15% royalty would be the best that I ever did. I believed that they were going to put in the pipeline this next year and start pumping gas and making me rich, even though none of those things have yet to occur. Now, occasionally people get lucky and things work out, but my experience, I have to say, is vast in this area, that most people don't see it that way. Most people see it as, you know what? I got taken advantage of. And why did you get taken advantage of? And it's very, very simple. The only reason is that you did not have the information you needed to make the right decision. You entered into an agreement essentially blind and not having the information that you should have had to appropriately evaluate and decide, should I be doing this and should I be doing it right now? Should I negotiate? How could I improve this? You didn't have that information, and if you did have it, you didn't have sufficient or enough information to make the appropriate decision. And how does that happen? Well, there's a reliance on the person sitting at your table, the person who drives up your driveway, cold the first time, just drives up cold, says, hey, I got this gas lease. Here's all these great things. Everything is wonderful. Everything is wonderful. They don't say, well, yeah, you may have a 25 to 30 acre well pad on your property. We may drill 20 some wells and not all of them are going to go into units that you're participating in. Oh yeah, we may take deductions that eat 50 to 75% of your check. They don't tell you any of those things. They talk about how much money you're going to make. And unfortunately, too many people sat there at the table, sat there at their house, and sat there and listened and believed that what they were being told is what was going to occur, despite the fact that if they read the lease language, in almost all of these leases, there's language saying that no oral or verbal statements, representations, promises are in any way part of this agreement. And in fact, many of these say that the person speaking to you doesn't have the authority to make such promises and that you can't rely. You cannot rely on their statements. Now, again, I'm going to tell you, I've never, ever talked to a landowner who said, you know what? I got to give this landman some credit because he said to me or she said to me, you know, I want to point out this provision, which I, Doug Clark, called a landman free pass, that says that anything I say to you is not part of this contract. Anything I say to you is not part of this contract, and you shouldn't be relying on it, and you can't rely on it, and come back later and say, hey, you know, I listened to the landman, and none of this is occurring the way the landman told me, and therefore I'm going to sue you because I'm getting 50 and 75% deductions in my royalty payments. And so when you do that and you make that claim, the first thing the company does, they hold up the lease. It says, sir, ma'am, see here that even if the landman made such representations to you, even if they did, see right here where it says that anything that they say to you is not part of this contract. And in many cases, leases will say that they don't even have the authority, that you can't rely on this, and they don't have the authority to speak for the company outside of the terms of that agreement relative to the contract. That's powerful stuff. So you're listening. So this is, again, the problem. People are listening to a person. They are being educated and informed by a person, number one, working for the company, not for you. Then that same person has a free pass because verbal and oral statements made are not part of the contract. So that's going to essentially, in almost all cases, prevent you from ever coming back and say, you know what? Well, this guy or this lady told me such and such, and that hasn't happened. And therefore, you've defrauded me, you cheated me, you lied to me, and that's wrong. And that may be wrong, but there's not, in typically most cases, the vast majority, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it after the fact. But there was something you could do about it before you signed. You could get information. You could understand this. You could get it from somebody working for you. And again, whether it's me or somebody else, I'd love to do it. It's what I do. It's what I love to do. But if it's not me, you got to get information from somebody working for you. Working for you, who's experienced and knows what they're doing, who can advise and guide and help you. Not somebody working for the company. Not somebody whose goal is to get your signature on paper. Somebody whose goal is to help you, to educate you and inform you and allow you to make the best possible decision for your situation. That's who you need talking to you. That's who you need working for you and educating you, not the individual whose financial wherewithal is dependent upon the job that they do and going out and securing signatures. That's the situation. That's the situation. In my opinion, that's the truth. That's the deal. So we need to do something and become educated and informed before we sign. We need to look at all the people that sign and say, you know what? I'm not going to make the same mistake. We need to say, you know what? They got me last time when I signed because I didn't know and I wasn't informed. But I'll tell you what, they're not going to get me again. They're not going to get me again. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. I'm over here in my first segment. But remember, call the office. Learn more. Learn what we do. See if I can help you. And I will be the one, not an associate, not someone else. It is me, and I will do everything I can to help you. 570 and inform you. 307-0702, regardless of location. 570-307-0702. Doug Clark, Clark Law Firm. I'll be right back after this message. Welcome back to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Remember to join me each and every week at this time on this station for All Things Marcellus and the information that you need, the landowner and the royalty owner, regarding gas development in Pennsylvania. Also, I say all the time, look, give us a call, see if we can help you. But if you don't call me, call someone who knows what they're doing, who's working for landowners, royalty owners, who's out to help you in every way they can. You can call us at 570-307-0702. 570-307-0702. Give us a call, learn about how I represent people, see if we're right for you, if I'm right for you, and regardless of your location. I can't stress that enough. My clients range all across Pennsylvania and in other states very far away, and sometimes other countries, as long as the gas rights, the property is in Pennsylvania, we can probably assist you. And again, any and all issues. I am doing a lot more recently on breaches of agreements, a lot more on that. But I want to finish what I was starting in the first segment. I got a lot more to get to here today, so stay with us. So I was talking in the first segment that we have, and this is indisputable, thousands upon thousands and thousands of landowners in Pennsylvania who have entered into oil and gas leases and pipeline agreements only to later become very upset, frustrated, that have now felt or now feel that they have been taken advantage of, misled, in some cases that they were a victim of fraud. But the reason why this is the case, in my opinion, is because these landowners, royalty owners, were not informed. Were not informed about what they needed to know in these very complex legal contracts for substantial commercial development. And landowners, royalty owners sat at their kitchen table with the landman and heard about these shiny objects, this money you're going to get, money, royalty. And they were distracted and didn't pay attention or didn't have the information that they needed to make the right decision for themselves. And how did they fill in their gap of information? Well, they allowed the company, think about that, they allowed the company to educate and inform them. They allowed the company, so many people have done this, they have allowed the company to tell them, hey, look, you don't need to go see a lawyer because here, I'm going to give you the information that you need. I mean, talk about the fox, the fox in the hen house. Talk about that. Think about that. Here, I will give you the information that you need. I will give you the information that you need. I, who works for the company, I don't work for you, but I'm going to give you the information that you need. Oh, but I'll tell you what, I'm real pro landowner. I love the landowner. Well, you're working for the company. You love the landowner. Okay, we'll make our own assessment of that. But people have fallen into somehow thinking, I am going to trust in and believe in blindly, the person working for the gas or pipeline company to tell me what I need to know and to educate and inform me of what I need to know before I sign this very, very serious document that literally may well last the next 100 years. So not only impacting me and my children, but even my grandchildren and maybe even their children. So I'm going to do all of this based upon what I'm being told by the company. And I'm not going to get an independent opinion and advice by somebody actually working for me who tells me from their experience what I need to know. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Give us a call. Learn about reviews, consultations, potential representation, 570-307-0702. And join me each and every week right here at this time on this station for All Things Marcellus, because I'm going to keep bringing you the information that you need. Remember, the show's not specific legal advice. It's to get you thinking. Specific legal advice is get your own specific legal advice. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to offer it to you. But if it's not me, make it somebody working for you. So back to where I was here. So this is so important. It is so important because we have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people who feel that they have been burned, misled, cheated, tricked, duped, and on and on and on. And now I started saying I'm getting more and more calls about development, more and more new leasing calls. Leasing today is not what it was like in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's not. It's different. You need to look at leasing different today. It has evolved. It has changed. There's development occurring. It's very, very specific today that involves much more complicated development and operational issues. And so just going on the internet isn't going to be the answer, is not going to give you, my opinion, the information you need. I'm all for getting information and getting informed, but this is much more complex today than it was 5 years ago, 3 years ago, and certainly 10 years ago. It really is, and that's why you need specific advice for your specific situation. Just in this week, I had a client whose offer went up $1,000 an acre, whose offer went up 3% in royalty, whose original offer had royalty with deductions. Now it does not. That all happened. That person could have either just simply signed when they got the documents presented to them, or they do a review and consultation. They find out about what's available. They find out of what we've been able to obtain, what I've been able to obtain, if this is applicable for other people in their area, and we maximize the agreement. And if we can't make the agreement better, which I'm going to tell you is extremely rare, the worst thing that ever happens is you now fully understand and know what you're signing, and it's typically, going to take an hour or two of time. How you're going to sign without doing that is, I don't understand it. But again, everybody can, but I don't know why you do that. And I'd love to talk to you and make sure that you understand. My goal in every representation is to help the client in the best way possible. The best way possible. And to make sure that if they're going to sign, they understand the good and the bad. And if it's right for them to sign, they have now signed with full knowledge and understanding of what they're signing from somebody working for them, not the other side. And what often happens is, say, okay, well, here's what your offer is, but I would suspect here are examples of how this can be improved, and I can assess that how likely I think you're able to make those improvements. I do it all the time. Whether you come into the office or we do it by telephone, I do it all the time. And if you're not taking advantage of that, I really think you're making a major mistake. I could go on and on and on about stories. Just this week, company landman on a pipeline case in my office from the original offer. Thankfully, the people called. They've been prior clients, so they knew to call. They call, and it looks like they're probably going to get $100,000 more than what they were offered. It doesn't happen all the time, but man, does it happen more than what you would ever think. And this was done, finding out your leverage and your rights in a matter of an hour. And usually it's within an hour or two. And now they know what they can do, and they're going to do significantly better. You're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Make sure you join me each and every week at this time on this station for the information you need from the landowner side regarding gas development. I am going to wrap up my topic here, but before I do, I want to say that this ending and the whole topic is so important. Again, we got thousands of people who feel they were taken advantage of. Thousands and thousands and thousands. And many of the listeners are part of that category. Some of the listeners may not be. Now, you may feel that you were taken advantage of in the past, and then now you get a new agreement, whether it be a pipeline, a roadway, a well site, any type of an agreement at all presented to you. Or you may be in a group that never had an agreement presented to you in the past, and now you're getting one, or you're going to get one in the future. Well, you need to remember, if you're not were in this thousands of people who got burned or feel they were burned in the past, or if you were part of that group, you need to know, okay, what am I going to do this time? Well, I am going to do better. I am not going to be taken advantage of again. I am not going to simply rely on what the company landman is telling me, because I know they work for the company, not me, the landowner. That's okay. They have a job, but I recognize their job. I know now from my previous experience that I better get more information, that I better not leave tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table because I took the pen and signed, and I didn't get information from somebody trying to help me, somebody working for me. I have either learned that lesson because I feel that I was burned in the past, or thankfully I wasn't burned in the past, and because I know that this is something that thousands of people have felt that they've been burned over, I am not going to repeat their mistakes. So you're either not going to repeat your own mistake, or you're going to learn from the mistake of others, and you're going to, before you sign, you are going to have a review and a consultation. Learn about what you're about to sign. Understand your negotiation leverage. Understand your right to refuse, should you want to. And then, if you want to sign, if you're going to sign that version of documents or document, you know what's in it. You know what's good and what's bad, and now you're making an informed decision. The worst thing, and thankfully I'm super blessed, and I have the opportunity to help people, and I have a lot of work to do. We're very busy. We're very fortunate. I am very, very fortunate. But I'll tell you what, I don't want to see any person in Pennsylvania, I truly don't, sign any oil and gas pipeline agreement without having a review and consultation with an attorney. Hopefully it's me, because I have a lot of confidence in what I do and I love to help people and I love what I do. But man, if it's not me, we need to stop signing agreements as uninformed people. We have to stop it. We have to stop it. So how do we stop it? We stop it by getting reviews and consultations. And the worst thing that can ever happen is you spend typically an hour or two of time. And people send me documents. I review them all. We do conference calls. I do those all the time. We can do in-office meetings. But the worst thing that happens is that you now fully understand the document. All of your questions have been answered by a person working for you who wants nothing but the best for you, your family, and your property. That's the goal of a good attorney, that you now know the answers to any questions, and you know answers to questions that you should have asked but you didn't know that you should be asking. And you decide, okay, this is right for me. I am going to sign this document. Or you learn all of those things and you say, you know what, this isn't right for me and I'm not going to sign it. But the worst thing that can happen is if you're going to sign before and you're going to sign after, you now have had this reviewed and checked and discussed with somebody working for you whose sole goal is to protect and help you. And if you're not taking advantage of that, which again is typically an hour or two, I will say, in my opinion, I think you're making an enormous mistake. And I hope that you give us a call, because I love doing those. And I want to make sure if the agreement's right for you, we want you to sign it. I want you to sign it. But you need to know what you're signing, because too many times, it is happening all the time where people are missing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes even into the millions, because they're just signing and they're not getting advice, reviews, and consultations to make sure they understand their rights. And if they don't have leverage rights, and if this is the best they can do, now they know and they can move into sign. Take advantage of this service. 570-307-0702. Give me a call. Learn about what we do. It'll be reviewed, and consultation will be with me and me only, either in person or by telephone. Give me a call. Learn about what we can do. See if we can help you. 570-307-0702. And make sure you keep listening each and every week to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. I've been doing the show for over 10 years, and I am not stopping. I'll be right back. I'm going to take this quick break. Welcome back to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. I talked a lot so far about reviews and consultations. I talk a lot about that because it is often a great first step, and many times the final step, to have whatever document you're presented with reviewed by me. Then we do a consultation where I explain the good and bad and offer suggestions, recommendations on how to proceed. And then you decide from there what is best for you. I honestly can tell you, I do not ever recall, and I have done, I don't know how many, countless of these reviews and consultations, where at the end somebody said, boy, why did we do that? Why did I do that? What a waste of time that was. I don't recall ever hearing anything remotely close to that. I do get often, wow, thank you. That was a lot of things that I didn't think about. That's a lot of great information. We have some things to think about. Or, hey, thank you. Wow, this is great because I didn't realize that I could either decline this proposal or negotiate to my benefit. Oh, I didn't realize that people around me or people in my area have obtained significantly higher compensation than what's being offered to me. I didn't realize that I could change the royalty deduction language, that may be a possibility in this case. And that's the type of things that we're looking at, and identifying what the issues are that you should be aware of before you put pen to paper. I can assure you of this. If I was getting negative feedback, or if I didn't think that these reviews and consultations were adding great benefit to people, I certainly wouldn't be talking about them so much. I certainly wouldn't. I could go story after story after story. Recently, pipeline client called, had an issue, asked to sign a map change, probably going to get another $100,000 or more. These are the type of things that occur, and they do occur, and they can, but they do occur. Not every time, but these are the type of things that can occur and be identified in the matter of an hour or two consultation. And that's why I talk about it. And I don't take a percentage in a case like that. I don't get a percentage. I do it hourly. So it's not that I'm sitting here saying, oh boy, this is, I know people sometimes think about lawyers, and hopefully you listen to this show enough that you get an idea who I am. Because one great thing about this show is I get to express who I am, who Doug Clark is, not, some stuffy lawyer in some big office somewhere. I get to be myself, which I love. I get to be myself, and that's who I am. And we got to get hard if we have to. We need to do different things. We need to fight. Well, we can do it. But this is a great opportunity to just try to talk to people to say, listen, I understand. I come from, you can Google it, the airport road in Armstrong County. And I say this because I think it's important, not that I'm like, oh, hey, this guy, he just wants to say these things so people will call him. No, I want people to feel comfortable with me, with Doug Clark. And that's who I am. And I think if you listen to the shows and you go to the website, pagasleaseattorney.com, pipelineattorney.com. There's a real lengthy video on the website where I was interviewed. And I'm very proud. I didn't know what the interview was going to be, but I loved the way it came out because I had the opportunity to talk about who I am, what my values are, and why I enjoy what I'm doing. And it's a fact that my grandfather was a steel worker at Allegheny Ludlam Steel Mill, that my father was a steel worker at Allegheny Ludlam Steel Mill. I had the great benefit of spending 2 summers when I was in school working at the mill, and my grandfather and father were farmers as well. So I have this opportunity to help people just like the people that I've loved most in my life, like my father, like my grandfather, like my grandmother, like my mother. And I have that opportunity. And it is an unbelievable gift that I never saw before. So when you're thinking about, oh, these attorneys, oh, they're going to charge so much, oh, they're out to get you, that's not the case. Maybe that can be in some cases. I'm not casting judgment on other people or other lawyers or other cases. But I can tell you where I'm coming from. And I can tell you that I've never in my entire life looked at any single person as a dollar sign. That I look at them and say, how can I help them? What information do they need? What information would I want if I were in their shoes? What information would I want my grandfather, my grandmother, my father, my mother, and all the neighbors that I grew up with in the airport road? What information would I want them to have if they were represented by a lawyer? That's what we want to do. That's what I want to do. So it doesn't cost anything to give a call to the office to see if we're right for you, if I'm right for you. And it's me who does it. It's not an associate, not another lawyer. It's me. So give us a call, see if we're right. And if we're not, that's okay. But at least give a call if you're interested in representation. Find out how we do it. Because I've specifically evolved how I do things, which I think is the most fair way for the client and, of course, for us. And so learn what we do and see if we're right. And don't be afraid to call, regardless of your location. I think you're going to find that this is a good call to make. Whether, again, you hire us or not, get the information. Go to pagasleaseattorney.com. Go to pipelineattorney.com. Today's show will be up and available tomorrow morning. Use the resources for information. But remember, it's not specific advice. The radio shows, the websites is not meant to be legal advice. Like I said, I get to talk. I get to be more me, less of the lawyer hat, but more of, who I am at times. So I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to help you. And if you're not comfortable, well, then, hey, we're not right for you. But what we find is that the vast majority of clients are comfortable because they're hiring and talking to somebody who truly wants nothing but the best for them. And that's what we're going to keep doing. And that's why I do not, and I will not represent gas or pipeline companies. I won't ever do it. Ever. And I say it time and time again, and it's on the websites. I don't care. I'll go dig a ditch. I will do anything, but I'm not going to go do that. I'm not going to do that. So remember that. It's just the truth. That's what I believe in. You're listening to All Things Marcellus. This is me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. You can join me each and every week at this time on this station. I want to talk also. I have a little bit of time left in this segment. I want to talk about something else. It kind of ties into this, but we're changing. We're going to switch gears. We're going to keep switching gears. But something I've talked about before, if you sign, say, a pipeline right-of-way agreement, and the company landman comes out to you and has a new map that they want you to sign or initial, you, in my strongest opinion, should not pick up a pen, or if you look down and there's a pen in your hand, drop it like a hot rock, as my grandfather used to say. Drop it and get a review and consultation. I have had clients, based on new maps, not sign, call, and obtain tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of more dollars. Or simply refuse the map change because the location is not something that's desirable to the landowner, to the client. You have to understand that any time you are putting your signature or even initials on paper, there is a consequence. Anytime you are putting your signature or initials on paper, there is a consequence. And you better darn know well what that consequence is. And let me give you a hypothetical. Landman says, oh, hey, look, hey, you signed these pipeline right-of-way agreements. We need to make an adjustment here. We need you to initial this map. Everything's good. We're going to get you paid. Everything's good. Here, initial this map. Oh, okay. Hey, that sounds great. You initial the map. You didn't realize that, you know what? When you first entered into this agreement, it was a bad agreement. You were uninformed, or you relied on information that you needed more information and better information from someone working for you, not the company. So you signed it though, but now you may be presented with an opportunity. Very rare to have a second bite of the apple, to go back in time and change and make the original agreement better by language which is beneficial to you, which may be extremely beneficial to you. Also, potentially by more just, fair, and appropriate compensation, meaning money. If you are signing or initialing, don't think, oh, initials, no big deal. If you're signing and initialing a document, it has consequences, and you shouldn't be doing this without, again, review, consultation, talking to somebody, understanding, somebody working for you, what you're signing or initialing, because you may be doing something which is unbelievably substantial, literally reviving a dead gas lease where you could have maybe renegotiated for thousands of dollars an acre, 15, 16, 17, 18% royalty, but you simply signed. You simply signed and gave all that away. Or you could have canceled a bad pipeline agreement, or negotiated and fixed it, made it more fair and appropriate, negotiated for more money because you got shortchanged at $10 or $15 a foot the first time. You could change that. You may have that opportunity, but the only way you're going to know that is put the pen down. Put the pen down, pick up the telephone. If you need to have something in your hand, let it be the phone, not the pen. Get information, make the right decision, learn your rights. And if it's appropriate for you to sign it, well, then you sign it after you have that information. But we got to, people, pipelines especially, maps, quit signing them. Quit signing them. Put the pen down, pick up the phone, figure out what it's about, and then if it's right to sign or initial, then you do it. But you sure don't do it the day they come out. Oh, hey, here we go. Here's a pen. No. My opinion, but man, is that a strong opinion. So pick up the phone. You can call us, 570-307-0702, 570-307-0702. And make sure to tune in each and every week at this time on this station with me, Doug Clark, for All Things Marcellus. I'll be right back. One more to go. Welcome back to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Make sure you join me each and every week at this time on this station for All Things Marcellus, because I'm going to keep bringing you the information you need regarding natural gas development here in Pennsylvania. And remember, I have not, do not, and I will not represent gas or pipeline companies. I am here for you, the Pennsylvania landowner and royalty owner. Reviews, consultations, any negotiations, breaches of leases, any and all oil and gas related matters, buying, selling gas rights, unitization, you name it, royalty issues. 570-307-0702. Call me, 570-307-0702. I got a shorter segment. There's a few things I want to get to. One of the things that I'm going to be talking about in upcoming shows, I've touched on it before. This is now, it's with Cabot in Susquehanna County, Pennsylvania, where they present people with multi-unit well consent forms. In my opinion, you really need to be getting some legal advice before you sign those documents. I've talked about it before. I'm going to talk about it again. But for now, my general advice is get specific advice if you are presented with a Cabot multi-unit well consent form. Just this week, I had my first call, and somebody sent me something from Chesapeake, where they're doing the same thing, essentially, as what Cabot is seeking to do with the multi-unit well consent forms. The documents presented by Chesapeake are called production allocation agreements. Same thing. Before you sign, get a review and consultation, understand what your rights are, and decide if this is right for you. I can't say it enough. You should not, in my opinion, and I can't have a stronger opinion than this one, rely on the gas company landman to educate you on these documents and these issues, because that individual, it's okay, we know it. They work for the company, not you. So we need to get you the advice and information to decide. And if it's right for you, you sign it. If it's right for you, you sign it. Or if it's right for you to change some of the language, to negotiate a little and then sign, and to go through that process, and or at least attempt to go through that process, then that's what you do. If it's not right for you to sign, then you don't sign. But get the information you need from your side. It just doesn't get, I think, more common sense than that. These are important documents. Get information. Get information from someone helping you. Cabot multi-unit wells and Chesapeake's new, and you're going to start seeing these a lot, production allocation agreements. You can give us a call. We do reviews, consultations, again, typically an hour or two. A lot of times these are an hour. 570-307-0702. Next, you're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm. Make sure you join me each and every week at this time on this station. Next subject I want to get to. This drives me insane. Ratifications and amendments. If you are presented with a ratification, modification, amendment, first off, any document. But boy, if you are given a ratification, amendment, modification of any kind, then even more so, if your underlying lease is an older lease, and older by I mean 2005 and earlier. But please don't just say, well, my lease is from 2007, so this wouldn't apply to me. If you are given a ratification, and these can take some different names, but often you'll see ratification, amendment, modification of a gas lease, pipeline agreement, or any other document, put your pen down. Please put your pen down. Call me, call somebody. But these ratifications are extremely powerful. And the reason that a company is asking for a ratification, amendment, and modification is not because, oh, hey, this has no benefit to us as a company, just to you. No, they're doing it for a reason, and you need to understand the reason. And if the reason is the company has probably breached your lease or your lease may have terminated, don't expect the company to tell you that. don't expect the company to tell you that. You need to identify, why am I being presented with this document? Why? And once you do, then you evaluate, is this something in my interest to sign? Again, if it is, you sign it. If it isn't, you don't sign, or you negotiate it to make it a document that you can sign, that it is appropriate for you to sign. We change these multi-unit well consent forms all the time. Again, we change the multi-unit well consent forms all the time. I identify in a ratification, amendment, and modification what I think to be the actual reason that is being presented to you, not the reason you're told. Not the reason you're told. Isn't that what you want before you sign? To know why you're signing it? To understand the document? And to make sure that the wool is not being pulled over your eyes. You're not being tricked. You're not being duped. You're not being misled, but you're getting the information you need to make the right decision. These amendment, modification, and ratifications are unbelievably powerful, and people are just signing them. And I believe in cases losing out on hundreds of thousands or millions, literally in times and cases, millions of dollars, because they just signed. They just signed. They didn't get the information and didn't understand what they were doing. And you need to stop doing that. I don't care how old your lease is, but boy, if your lease is older and you're given an amendment, modification, and ratification, there's a good chance that the company has a problem, and you need to identify that. And you need to see if that's an opportunity for you to get a new lease, to modify your lease, to get higher royalty, to get no deductions, to get a more bonus. You need to do that. You need to do that. And reviews and consultations will give you that answer. We'll give you that answer. And you can call 570-307-0702. But if you're signing a ratification, amendment, modification without getting a review, consultation, or consulting with a lawyer who knows what they are doing, I believe that you are making, in many cases, an enormous mistake, and we got to stop doing that. The final thing I want to talk about, you're listening to All Things Marcellus with me, Attorney Doug Clark of the Clark Law Firm, my good friends on the ground in Tioga County. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to keep hammering this. In my last count, SWEPI has 175 vertical wells that are placed in DEP regulatory inactive status. They are not producing, but they are holding your lease. They are holding your lease and paying you shut-in payments. I don't see 175 wells in inactive status by any other company in any other area. Not that I see. We need to stop that. You didn't enter into an agreement to have your lease placed into, or your well that applies to your lease, into regulatory inactive status. If you are held by a single vertical well and you're only receiving shut-in payments and you're in Tioga County with SWEPI, I want to hear from you. 570-307-0702. I'm doing what we can, and we're going to do what we can to change that, but I need to hear from you. 570-307-0702. In my opinion, this is an atrocious occurrence, and we need to stop it. It's not right, and I don't like things that aren't right. So I got to fly. Remember, stop signing bad agreements. Also, landman works for the company, not you, the landowner. Doug Clark has not, will not, ever represent oil or gas companies. Give us a call, 570-307-0702. Tune in each week to All Things Marcellus. Have a great week, everyone.